The Christmas season is full of joy, but how much of that fun is shared with your spouse? My next guest is a big believer in making marriages more playful, and he claims that fun in a relationship is actually a byproduct of security. Marriage and family therapist Trevor Hanson joins me to explain. It's great to have you, sir. Great to meet you.
Hey, thank you.
That was an interesting note to me, that fun is a byproduct of security. Why do you believe fun is such an important characteristic of a healthy, happy marriage?
Well, this takes me back to the little town of Laie on the North Shore of Oahu. I lived out there, and there was this old auntie down the street. And when I was dating, she gave me advice on all the things I needed to look for in a girl. And she says, I gave her a list, and she goes, oh, those are great, but just make sure that she's fun. And I was like, oh.
You don't hear that advice very often.
No, you don't. And it kind of surprised me. And to this day, I guess back then I didn't realize how important that really was. But now I see it as I work with couples every single day in my office. You know, get hundreds of messages from people online about their relationships. I realize that fun really is the central point in keeping that spark alive, keeping the connection alive, the excitement. A lot of people complain, you know, we get in and out and do the things each day, and the fun or the excitement goes away. And so I realize that having fun is fundamental to having like a good connecting relationship that's not going to leave you feeling bored.
Yeah, because really, as you described that, I mean, the daily mechanics of life can take over, and they can be monotonous and even mundane. But you can put fun even in those everyday moments, right?
Absolutely, you can.
You have 4 things we can do to foster more fun, more playfulness in our marriages. First, you say we have to let go of self-protection. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so oftentimes in a relationship, so kind of referencing back to the idea that security creates fun.
Okay.
Security, when you're secure, you feel relaxed, you feel open, you feel flexible, curious, safe. These are all the words that make up this idea of security. And the opposite of that, when you're insecure, you're in a place of self-protection. So let's say you don't feel like your needs are being met by your partner in your relationship. You're naturally going to go to some sort of self-protection, but in so doing so,
I'm with you.
You make the other person kind of the enemy. You get critical often. You go on the PR campaign, you know, defending yourself, or maybe you just shut down entirely and they don't even have access to you anymore. All in the name of just not quite feeling like maybe they're seeing you or meeting your needs. And instead of going to self-protection, if you remain in a place of openness where you're actually inviting what you need rather than pushing them away by getting critical or defensive, then all of a sudden they're going to feel more relaxed. They're going to be more apt to come close and give you the thing that you're actually needing.
Well, they're not on the defense.
Yeah, exactly. And so it creates that scenario where underlying foundations of fun is just being able to feel relaxed.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It sort of forces you to this place of I meet my own needs, though, right? That I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be responsible for your own reaction.
Yeah.
I hate the phrase like, oh, if you really love me, then you'll deal with my whatever it is, criticism, defensiveness. No, that's not how it works. Like, you have to take ownership of what you do first. And if you do that, again, it breeds that security, which makes everything much more fun.
All right, this next piece of advice sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds a little tricky, too. You want us to stop thinking like an adult.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Well, and specifically, think like a child. Because you think about kids, right? They're not concerned if it's messy. They're not really terribly concerned about money. And I mean, you have to consider that, obviously, and I'm not telling you to throw all ambition out the window, but you're not concerned about being embarrassed. You watch kids play, and they're just focused on the task at hand, which they're the pros, by the way. Their job is to have fun. At least for the first handful of years of their life. That's what they're supposed to do. So let's look at the professionals, I guess, in that regard. They have a lot of fun, and they're not concerned about maybe a mess or things getting a little bit embarrassing, you know? Let's say, I don't know, I was thinking about filling up ice at my refrigerator and a bunch falls out on the floor. Great, that's an opportunity to play some hockey with your feet and your partner. Like let it just be fun, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to mop it up right then. Just have a good time for just a minute.
I love the challenge. I'm taking the challenge. Give me one quick line on this one. See the opportunity for play.
See the opportunity for play. I think it's exactly what I'm describing. The ice hits the floor. This isn't a bad thing. This could potentially be a fun thing.
And lastly, you want us to focus on connection more than circumstances. What do you mean there?
Sometimes we think we have to have the perfect date or the perfect idea in order to have fun. We need to plan it. But oftentimes it's about seeing those unplanned circumstances. Me and my wife went out in the rain and started electric scootering. We weren't planning on it being raining, but we put on ski goggles and a jacket, and it made it way more fun. It made it really exciting. We didn't cancel our plans. And it just made it more connecting because we didn't focus on the circumstance, which was rain, could sound sad and depressing. but we focused on connection, and it was phenomenal.
So focus on the connection.
Yeah, not the circumstances.
And by that picture alone, it looks like you took the advice of that Hawaiian mama so many years ago.
Yeah, I did. I chose one that was very fun.
I love that. I love that. Trevor, where can we find more from you?
So you can primarily find me on Instagram or TikTok or any of the social platforms. My handle is at The Art of Healing by Trevor, or you can find me at theartofhealingbytrevor.com.
The Art of Healing by Trevor. Please come back. I'd love more of your advice and insight.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.